Have you ever caught yourself lying awake at night, replaying past mistakes in your head, or maybe worrying endlessly about the future, your job, your health, your relationships? If yes, then you're not alone. In fact, most of us spend our lives trapped either in the past or in the future, and we miss the only thing that's truly real, the present moment. That's the heart of Eckhart Tolle's groundbreaking book, The Power of Now. And in this video, we're going to explore it deeply together. We'll break down Tolle's teachings, his stories, and the practical wisdom that has helped millions of people find peace in a noisy, anxious world. So sit back, take a deep breath, and let's step into the power of now. Before we dive into the lessons of the power of now, it's important to understand where this book really came from, because this wasn't written by someone who always lived in peace or had life figured out. Eckhart Tolle's journey begins in pain. He wasn't a famous teacher. He wasn't a guru sitting on a mountain. He was, in fact, deeply depressed. For most of his 20s, he describes his inner world as heavy, suffocating, and unbearable. Every day, his thoughts were filled with fear, worry, and despair. At one point, he even thought about ending his life. And then, one night in London, at the age of 29, something shifted. Lying in bed, overwhelmed with dark thoughts, he said to himself, "I cannot live with myself any longer." And then suddenly, like lightning, came a strange realization. If I cannot live with myself, then who is this I and who is this self I cannot live with? That single question cracked open a door inside him. He saw something most of us never stop to notice, that there are actually two parts within us. One is the endless stream of thoughts, the restless voice in the head that is always complaining, always analyzing, always judging. This is what he later calls the ego. But then there is something else, something quiet, something that simply notices, the silent observer behind the thoughts, pure awareness. That night, his identity with his thoughts, the me that suffered constantly, collapsed. And in its place, there was space, stillness, peace. Tolle describes waking up the next morning and finding everything radiant. A chair, a teacup, sunlight on the curtains, all glowing with aliveness. For the first time in his life, he felt present. He felt free. This shift was so powerful that his old life couldn't continue the same way. For nearly 2 years, he wandered around, often sitting on park benches, simply soaking in the beauty of the present moment. He didn't need much. He lived in total simplicity, but he felt an inner richness that far outweighed anything he had ever known. People began to notice him. Strangers would ask him, "How can you be so calm? How can you sit here for hours with such peace?" And slowly, through conversations, through small groups, through teaching, his insights spread. Years later, these teachings became a book, The Power of Now, a book that has since touched millions of lives, translated into dozens of languages, and become a guide for anyone seeking freedom from anxiety, stress, and endless overthinking. And the heart of it all is that same realization he had in that dark night. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. So let's explore one of the central ideas of this book, the ego. Now, when most people hear the word ego, they think of arrogance, like someone who brags, "I'm the best, I'm smarter than everyone else." But in The Power of Now, Tolle gives ego a deeper meaning. Ego isn't just arrogance. It's the voice in your head that never stops talking. It's that constant stream of thoughts, worries about tomorrow, replaying conversations from yesterday, judging yourself, judging others. It's that inner narrator that says, "Why did she look at me like that? I hope I don't mess up tomorrow's presentation. I should be further ahead in life by now." Sound familiar? That's ego. The problem is, most of us are completely identified with that voice. We don't even realize it's separate from who we truly are. We think, if my mind is anxious, then I am anxious. If my mind is angry, then I am angry. But Tolle invites us to pause, to notice there's the thought, and then there's the awareness of the thought. That awareness, that silent watcher, is the real you. Attached to this ego is something he calls the pain body. Now, this is one of the most powerful and eye-opening concepts in the book. The pain body is like an emotional shadow that we all carry within us. It's made up of old pain, stored up from the past, moments when we were hurt, rejected, abandoned, or misunderstood. That pain doesn't just vanish. It lives inside us, waiting for chances to rise up again. The pain body can be personal, like trauma from childhood, or collective, like the suffering carried by entire groups of people, passed down through generations. Here's how it works. Imagine someone makes a small, harmless comment at work, something like, "Oh, you forgot to send that file." For most people, this could be a simple reminder, but for someone with an active pain body, that small comment might trigger a huge emotional reaction. anger, shame, or even tears. Why? Because the pain body feeds on negative emotions. It loves to be activated, almost like a parasite that grows stronger the more you suffer. Tolle says, when you are completely identified with your pain body, it takes over. You speak through it, act through it, live through it, and afterward, you might not even recognize yourself. You might say, I don't know what came over me. That was your pain body. But here's the key. The pain body cannot survive in the light of awareness. The moment you notice it, really notice it, without judgment, without resistance, something shifts. Instead of saying, I am angry, you realize, there is anger rising in me, and I am watching it. Do you see the difference? You are no longer the anger itself. You are the awareness holding the anger. And in that simple shift, the pain body begins to dissolve. Awareness is like light. Darkness cannot survive in light. And the pain body, no matter how heavy, cannot survive when you shine the light of attention on it. This is one of the deepest teachings of the power of now. Your suffering is not who you are. It's something that appears within you. And when you bring awareness to it, without resisting it, without feeding it, you set yourself free. So how do we actually live in the now? Tolle explains that our biggest enemy is time. Not clock time, we need that for practical life, but psychological time. That's when we live mostly in memories, the past, or anticipation, the future. Think about it. The past is gone. It exists only as a memory. The future hasn't happened yet. It exists only as imagination. The only thing that's truly real is this moment, right now. He gives a powerful practice. The next time you feel anxious, stop and ask, what problem do I have right now, in this very moment? You'll usually find that the present moment is bearable. It's our thoughts about tomorrow or yesterday that create suffering. For example, if you're sitting here watching this video, right now, you're probably safe. You're breathing. You have enough. The present is almost always peaceful. One of my favorite teachings from the book is about the inner body. Tolle invites us to shift our attention from our racing mind into the body. Feel the aliveness inside your hands, your chest, your legs. This anchors you to the present. Here's a simple practice he shares. Close your eyes and try to feel your hands without moving them. Just sense the tingling, the subtle energy. That's presence. That's being. Why is this so powerful? Because the mind cannot hold on to fear or anxiety when you're deeply rooted in the body. It pulls you out of endless thinking and into simple being. Tolle also talks about how these ideas transform relationships. He says most relationships are not really love, but an ego-driven need. I want you to make me happy. That's why relationships swing between love and hate, closeness and conflict. But when two people live in presence, something shifts. They're no longer demanding the other person fill their emptiness. Instead, love arises naturally because it's not based on need, but on being. He gives an example. If your partner says something that triggers you, instead of instantly reacting, pause. Notice the pain body wanting to respond. Take a breath. Choose presence. This single pause can save countless arguments. Another core teaching is surrender. Now, surrender doesn't mean giving up or being passive. It means accepting the present moment fully, without resistance. Most suffering, Tolle says, comes from resisting what is. For example, if it's raining, we can curse the sky, or we can accept it and carry an umbrella. He shares that even in moments of extreme challenge, acceptance can open a doorway to peace. Imagine being stuck in traffic. You can fume and stress, but does it change the situation? No. But if you accept it, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. Acceptance doesn't mean you don't take action. It means your action comes from clarity, not from anger or fear. So what does enlightenment mean in this book? It's not about glowing halos or mystical powers. It's simply about being fully present. Enlightenment is the end of suffering through the realization that you are not your thoughts, not your ego, but the awareness behind them. He gives a beautiful metaphor. The mind is like the sky filled with clouds. Thoughts are the clouds, sometimes dark, sometimes light. But behind the clouds is always the vast, clear sky of consciousness. You are that sky. Before we wrap up, let's go through a few practices directly from the book. Pause and ask, what problem do I have right now? This brings you back from the imagined future to the present. Feel your inner body. Shift attention from your mind to your body. Feel the aliveness inside you. Watch the thinker. Instead of being lost in thought, observe your thoughts like clouds passing by. Use triggers as teachers. When the pain body arises, don't fight it. Notice it. Awareness alone begins to dissolve it. So let's come back to you. Have you noticed how most of your stress, most of your fear, comes not from what's happening right now, but from your mind's stories about the past and the future? The power of now is a reminder. Life is never yesterday or tomorrow. It's always now. So here's a gentle challenge. After this video, pause. Take one deep breath. Feel the air moving in and out. That's life. That's reality. That's peace. The greatest gift you can ever give yourself and the world around you is presence. Not more money, not more achievements, not even more knowledge. Presence. The simple, quiet act of actually being here, fully alive in this very moment. Think about it. When you're truly present with someone, listening without distraction, without waiting to reply, you give them something rare and beautiful. And when you're present with yourself, breathing, noticing, accepting, you give yourself freedom. And maybe, just maybe, if more of us lived this way, the world itself would begin to look a little brighter. Conversations would feel deeper. Relationships would feel more real. Even the small, ordinary things, like a walk outside, the taste of a meal, or the sound of rain, would become extraordinary again. So thank you for joining me on this journey into the power of now. I hope these ideas don't just stay as words, but become something you try, something you feel, even in small moments of your own life. If this video touched you in any way, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave a like, or share your own reflections in the comments. What was the moment in your life where you truly felt present? I'd love to hear your story. And remember this, the past is gone, the future isn't here yet. The only moment you will ever truly have is now. So breathe it in, live it fully, because now is where life is happening.